What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Ty Moore Tech. I am Ty Moore, and today, bang, gas cans. Today, we are uncomplicating what to do with all the photos on your smartphone. Raise your hand if you're like me and you're embarrassed at the number of photos you have on your phone. You've got a bunch of photos on your phone and you don't know what to do with them. Sometimes they're taking up all the storage on your phone and you need to make room, but you have a bunch of photos that you don't want to lose. You don't want to just delete the photos, you want to save them. How do you do it? Where do you put them? What do you do? So I'm going to run through a little bit of a process of how I like to deal with those photos, where I like to put them, how I move them around, how I get rid of photos, and then finally how I store photos that I want to keep off of my phone. My job requires me to use my phone to take a lot of pictures of things that I don't necessarily want for personal use. And so the first step in my process is deleting all the photos off of there that I don't want. So there might be groups of photos of things that I had to take pictures of that I just know I don't want on there. So I'll go through and I'll wipe all of those off of there. If you're not like me and you don't have to use your phone for work and you don't have a bunch of photos that you don't need, you can skip right ahead to this next step, which is going through and favoriting all the ones that you want to make sure that you keep. I take lots of photos at one time. If I'm taking a family photo with my family and we're doing a selfie, I will snap a bunch of photos because inevitably the one that I thought was going to work, one of my kids is staring over here and the other one is licking his face and the other one has his eyes closed. And so it's good to take multiple photos of the same thing because sometimes you can get one of them that looks really good. So I will go through those where I have multiple of the same photo and just kind of flip through them, and when I find the one that I want to keep, I will favorite that photo, and then I will delete the rest because I don't need to keep them. So then I'm just left with all of these favorite photos on my phone. You might want to stop at this point because you've freed up plenty of space on your phone, and you want to just keep all of those photos right where they are. If that's the case, more power to you. For me, I take a lot of photos and videos, and even after I've done that, I still need to get rid of a bunch of them. So, the last step of my process is saving those photos to somewhere off of my phone so that I don't lose them, so that I have access to them in the future because I still want to hold on to those photos. Now, I'm going to run through some options that you have for storing photos off of your phone. Some of them are great options, some of them are mediocre options, some of them are crappy options. We're going to run through some of those details and you're going to be able to decide what's best for you. The first place, and the place that I stored photos for a long time but have stopped recently, and I'll explain why, has been Google Photos. So I have an iPhone, not a Google phone. But for the longest time, Google offered unlimited storage on Google Photos at a certain size image. So if the file size of your image was too big, it would shrink down your image to a certain size where you could store it. And there was unlimited storage for that. So as long as you weren't turning those pictures into posters, you would be fine to use that. So I stored almost all of my photos that way from my phone. What was nice about that is you had access to it anywhere because it's Google and they're everywhere. So you have the Google Photos app, you can just go on there and find photos. Another really nice feature to that was anybody who had a Google account, you could share that album with. So there were lots of times we would go on a vacation with other family members and they wanted some of the pictures that I had. So I would download them to the Google Photos app and I would share it with them so they had access to it. They could dump their own photos into that same album. Really sweet. You can still do all of those things with the Google Photos app. The problem is they are no longer offering unlimited photo storage. They are capping it at, I believe, 15 gigabytes, which is not a lot. So I'm having to find a new way to store those photos, ones that I don't need to store the full-size image of, family photos and things that I'm never going to blow up into giant photographs, but ones that I would like to see. So we're going to run through a couple different options that you have for storing those photos. So Google Photos is the first one. A second option, similar to Google Photos, would be Amazon Photos. The pro for Amazon Photos is that you can access it from anywhere. You get lots and lots of storage on Amazon Photos. The con is that it's Amazon, and they're almost definitely using your data. But that's similar to Google Photos, so if you don't mind that, Amazon Photos is also a good option. Something to keep in mind with these internet storage places is that if they go under, if they sell the company or whatever, or they change their stipulations, you're kind of at the whim of that company. This happened with Flickr. Maybe you're familiar with the company Flickr. I believe it was a Yahoo company, or Yahoo bought it. No, it was a Yahoo company, and Yahoo just went belly up. And so Flickr can't really be used anymore to store tons and tons of photographs. A third option, similar to Google Photos and Amazon Photos, is iCloud Photos. You might recognize that name because it's an Apple cloud storage software program. What's convenient is all the same things about Google Photos, Amazon Photos, that you have access to it from anywhere, and it's going to work really well with your iPhone and other Apple products. You can access it from all of your other Apple products. The downside to iCloud Photos is that it's really expensive. The upside is it's going to be private. It's not going to use your data like the other ones will, but it is really expensive. It's almost offensive how little storage you get for free. I believe it's 2 gigabytes is the free option. And then you have monthly payments that get you more and more depending on how much you want to spend and how much storage you want to have. The problem I have with those is that the more storage you need to hold your photos, the more money you have to spend. And so I don't use iCloud storage. Finally, the last option that we're going to talk about is external storage. So a little piece of hardware that is going to hold all of your photos. Think of like an SD card that slides into your phone, only much bigger. When it comes to external storage, you have a few different options. You can do wireless, so they have like some Bluetooth connection ones. They also have ones that you can connect your phone straight to it. I tend to lean more towards the ones that connect to your computer. You connect your phone to your computer to the external hard drive. The reason for that is it's just going to work better across all platforms. It's going to last for a lot longer, and it's going to be less expensive. So when you're looking at external storage that you connect to your computer, you have a couple different options. There's something called NAS drives, and that stands for Network Attached Storage. So if you're wondering, does it connect to a network? You would be correct. It connects to your network, and it's storage attached to your network. What's really slick about these is that you can access them from anywhere. They connect to your internet, and so you are moving your photos or whatever documents or anything onto that NAS drive, and then you can access that from anywhere in the world through the internet. The upside is all the things I just mentioned. The downside is they get really expensive. So if you don't know what an NAS drive is, you probably don't need one, because this is something for people who are using massive amounts of storage. I am shooting video in 4K now, and so that is taking up much larger storage, and I'm not using an NAS drive. Maybe in the future, if I continue to do this and use larger and larger file sizes, I might consider it. But I don't need access wirelessly from anywhere in the world to my videos. So when it comes to the NAS drive, it's really convenient because you can access it from anywhere in the world, but it's pretty expensive. So it's way overkill for most people. But you might be somebody who likes overkill. And there you go. You go with an NAS drive. You can access it from anywhere. Pretty cool. Pretty convenient. If I had the money, I might just go that route. But I don't. I just can't justify it to the one who makes sure I can justify my big purchases. Lastly, in this section of wired connections, external hard drives, is a traditional external hard drive and a solid state external hard drive. So an external hard drive, a traditional external hard drive, has a spinning mechanism inside of there that stores your data on it. It's moving these mechanisms back and forth, and there's a disk in there that spins to read the data that you have on there. These are going to be the most cost effective that you can get. I've seen 8 terabyte storage systems for $150, $200 in the traditional hard drive with the spinning drives. The other option is what's called a solid state drive. And this is going to operate similar to like a flash drive that you plug into your computer, where there's nothing spinning inside of it. All that storage is just locked inside of there, and there are no moving parts inside of a solid state drive. What's really slick about these is they're really fast. What I mean by that is, if you have to dump information from your computer onto an external hard drive, you're going to notice it go way faster on a solid state drive compared to one of those spinning hard drives. The other aspect is those spinning hard drives have more moving parts to them, so there's a likelihood that they will fail. That being said, those have been around for so long that the companies that are really good at them really know how to make them, and so they last a long, long time, and solid state drives can fail as well. So the plus to the traditional hard drives with the spinning disks inside of them is that they're going to be cost effective. They've been around for a long time, and you can get a lot of storage for a very little amount of money. With the solid state drives, they're going to be really fast. They don't have any moving parts, so there's an aspect of longevity to them, but they're very expensive. So a traditional external hard drive with spinning drives inside of it is going to be more cost effective. You'll get more storage for less money. But there's the possibility of it failing with those moving parts in it. Then you get solid state drives where they're really fast and they're small, but they're very expensive. How expensive, you might ask? I bought a 1 terabyte solid state drive for about $170. For that same $170, you could probably get like 5 terabytes from a decent company that makes hard drives. The pro to the traditional spinning drive, external hard drive, is you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck. You're going to get a lot more storage for less money. Solid state drives, you're going to get a lot more speed, but you're going to spend quite a bit more money. So, what do I do? Personally, I have always used external hard drives to back up my photos, to back up things on my phone that I wanted to make sure that I could keep. In the past, this has mostly been for my photography stuff. Now it's for video stuff and for all the photos on my phone. I don't know if any of these companies are going to stop offering what they have or start charging me money for the thing that they're holding on to for me now. So I always make sure to back it up. There have been times where something happens to your phone that you're not able to access those photos, that you want to have a backup of those photos. So I have always used an external hard drive like this. This is a Western Digital external hard drive. This has the spinning drives inside of it. Western Digital is a great brand. I've never had one of these fail on me. Sometimes they will, though. I've got a few of these, if you couldn't tell by more 1. I've got more 1, 2, and 3 at least right now. And so I store all my photos on here. Since I have started a YouTube channel, though, I recently upgraded to a solid state external hard drive. The reason for that is these are really fast, and I can use this to work off of. So if I've got 4K video that I've shot and need to edit, I can have it stored on here and work off of this on my computer, so I don't have to store that file on my computer. But then when I'm done with it, I'll move it over to this to hold all that storage. This is a 2 terabyte external hard drive. I think you could probably get one of these for maybe $70, $80 for 2 terabytes. This is a single terabyte solid state drive, and this cost me about $170. So more than double what you would pay for this one, which says something about how much the storage costs on a solid state drive. Since I have a Apple computer with part of my workflow, I will airdrop photos and videos straight to my computer. If you don't know what I'm talking about with airdrop, I have a previous video talking about that. So I will airdrop those files to my computer and then move them right over to one of these hard drives. It's really convenient. If you don't have an Apple computer though, these will connect to your computer. You can move those files over by connecting your phone to your computer and dumping them straight onto those external hard drives. I would highly recommend you back up your photos though. You might be thinking, I have plenty of storage on my phone. I don't need to back them up. I don't need extra room. You never know though what could happen to your phone. We carry them around every day. You could drop it in a lake and never see it again, and then all of those photos are lost with it. So back them up. That way you have the photos if you have to get a new phone or something happens to your current setup. Okay, I hope that's helpful for you. I hope that clarified some things. I hope you learned something about external hard drives and storing your photos. If you don't have your photos stored somewhere else, I would highly recommend it. As we get better and better phones that take better and better photographs, those file sizes are going to get bigger and bigger, and we're going to need larger and larger storage places for them. Granted, you might have a lot of storage on your phone. I do too. But if something were to happen to my phone that I lost everything that was on it, I want to make sure that I have those backed up somewhere, that I have access to those photos somewhere other than the thing that I'm carrying around every single day. If I were to drop my phone in a lake and never see it again, I am up a creek. So if you are not currently backing your photos up somewhere, I would highly recommend it. You have some beautiful photos on your phone and wonderful memories that you want to make sure that you keep. And if you were to lose your phone or something happens, you want to make sure you have access to those one way or the other. I personally use external hard drives because I own the copy of them. I've got it with me at all times. You could do an NAS drive, and that would give you access to it from anywhere at any time. But it's expensive. Or you could do iCloud storage. It's going to work really well on your phone. If money is no object to you, iCloud photos, NAS drive, external solid state drives are going to be the most expensive but coolest ways to store your photos. If you're a tightwad, like me, I think your best option is an external hard drive. There are some programs where you can store your photos online for free, but you never know what's going to happen with those. I would recommend an external hard drive where you can back your photos up at night once a month, dump 100 photos or so onto an external hard drive so you've got them backed up. That way, if you drop your phone in a lake and you're up a creek, you've only lost a month of photos as opposed to losing all of the photos that you have. If you learned something from this video, leave it in the comments below. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you learned something new. If you are going to back up your photos for the first time, please leave it in the comments. Let me know. If you want recommendations on what kind of external hard drive to get, I would be happy to answer that in the comments below as well. If you like this video, click the thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you click subscribe. And if you ring that little bell, it will notify you every time I post a new video. So, thanks for showing up. Thanks for watching the video. And you will see me in the next one. Thanks. Oh, one other thing to remember as you're purchasing your external hard drive. You might think, I've got boatloads of money. I'm going to spend $500 on one of these hard drives on a external spinning drive hard drive, and I'm going to get a boatload of storage. You might be thinking, I'm going to spend $500 and get as much external storage as I possibly can, and I'm going to get 20 terabytes of storage. That's fine. You can do that. The reason you don't see a whole lot of those is not because they can't store 20 terabytes. It's because if you store 20 terabytes of information on one thing and that thing fails, you will lose your mind. So, before you go spending a ton of money on something, think about how much information you are willing to lose on something. It might be worth getting 2 smaller ones and storing the same information on both of them. Just something to think about, so that if one fails, you're not up a creek without a paddle. You're down the creek with a hard drive. And today we are uncomplicating phone storage. No, we're not. Photo storage. What else was I going to mention? No. If I drop it in a lake, I'm in a lake. Up a creek, without a paddle, up a paddle, on a lake. What are you talking about, man? I don't know what comes after a terabyte. Mega, giga, tera, florabytes? That sounds like a dental chew. Get your dog florabytes. Haha! Anyway, wow, that was a tangent. Where were we?